Hello and welcome back to Cymatic TV. This is going to be your energy update from the 21st of October. I hope you're doing well. We're going to be looking at the sun and the activity that's been going on the sun. There's been quite a lot of eruptions recently with a lot of M flares. We actually had an impact during the week. Earlier on during the week, and this produced an emotional sort of spike, I would say, around about sort of Sunday. Around about that sort of period there, where you might have had an overwhelming sort of sensation of emotions on Sunday. And Sunday and Monday sort of situation, really, more than anything else. That sort of came out in the sun. We saw that because we had the impact that came in from the filament eruptions and also the solar flare eruptions as well that was happening upon the sun. Things have changed now, and there's a certain implementation of energy, and we talked about that in the messages from energy on our sister channel, which is the Astroflower, where we get all these sort of woo-woo stuff, and we get all the energy responses, the messages, chakra sequencing, and so forth. If you want to see that, please make your way over to the Astroflower. It will be linked around my head at some point. But there is a definite harmonization that's going on in the sun at the moment, and that harmonization is breeding into action, and a particular type of action. We'll go into that at the end. Let's just have a look and see what's been going on. These are the eruptions, as I said, during the past week, over the last 7 days. Just above me over there, you can see the X-ray flux, and you can see that there was an uptick, general uptick of vibrations that upticked, and now it's on its way down again. We've got a few spikes here and there, and we're going to be seeing that on the sun. We can see right on the far left here, there was a minor storm, a geomagnetic storm on the Earth, and that was the impact that I was talking about with the filament energies. They came through, the emotional impact that came through on Sunday and Monday, which you might have experienced in some form or another. So that was the vibrations that have been coming through at the moment. Let's just have a look now and see what has actually been going on with the sun. So this is the week's view of the sun that we have at the moment going in front of us here, where you can see at the top there, you've got three different ways of looking at the sun, and you can see that dark sliver, as it were, that goes out of sight here. That was came originally from the beginning part of the last week, and then there was these eruptions also that came along from the filament energies, and there's particular eruptions that we're going to be looking at, and how the eruptions play together in harmony with the filaments, the corona hole. So the dark sliver is what is called a corona hole. Now that is earth energy. And then we have the filament energies, which is water energy, emotional energy. And then we have solar flares, which is fire energy. Now, the air energy is created as these vibrations go past or into the earth, as it were. So this is a particular point that we will be looking at a little bit later on. In the video, but and the harmonization that is coming back to it, the solar system or the sun will also be coming back within the earth as well. So let's have a closer look at what's going on with those eruptions on the sun. So let's just have a first look here. This is in the 304 angstroms. It's a certain type of vibration or frequency that we're looking at. If you can just see now at the lower part of the sun, you can see that filament energy. It's like a ribbon that runs just on the just at the really southern part. You can also see filament energies that are all over the place between the two bright spots that are in the middle, and then slightly to the left of those two bright spots with the filament energy, you can see that coronal hole. Now there has been eruptions. If I that's a filament energy erupting, as you can see on the left hand side right on the left-hand side, on the far left-hand side, just next to the coronal hole. So that started this whole process off, and you can see that tsunami of plasma as it goes and flows it into that coronal hole. What we're seeing after that is an eruption within the coronal hole itself. So there's that eruption there that's in the coronal hole within itself. And then you've got the filament energy, and on the other side of the filament energy, you've got these solar flares that we're going to be looking, or the sunspots that we're going to be looking in far greater detail. We then get another eruption on the left-hand side, which is coming up about now. The eruption, there it is there. If you can just see on the left-hand side, don't worry about what's going on the far right-hand side. That's causing a lot of wind energy or air energy. But this eruption here on the left-hand side puts it all into balance. It starts off with the eruption, there it is there, with the eruption on the with the coronal hole. Let's just bring it back to that eruption there. So it starts off with that eruption in the coronal hole, which we can see there it is there. That's right inside the coronal hole. It goes across and loops across to this secondary eruption, which is on the left-hand side, which we can see roughly around about now. Where there it is there. There's that eruption there. That's also a filament energy. There you can see that eruption there. And then in the center of the screen, so that's the secondary, that's the rebound off the eruption that's out of the coronal hole. So that's earth energy to water energy, very fertile. And what does it create? Look at the center of the screen, and gradually that glowing white spot there in the middle. Now that's a very particular one. Let's look at it in a different frequency, shall we? You can see that dark hole there a lot better, and you can see the filament energy at the bottom there, and you can see right in the center of that coronal hole just now, you'll see there's the eruption there, that is going back inside the sun, and as it goes back inside the sun round on the left hand side, which we'll see around about now, you'll see that eruption of that filament energy on the left hand side. Here it goes, there it is there. That's the secondary, that's the rebound effect of that. And as that goes forward, then we start seeing that brighter spot start appearing in the middle. Now that's very much in line with, say, like, let's bring it right back here where we've got some really bright spots here. That's creating what is called a sunspot, which is that fire energy that's coming through. Now this is created out of the magnetic field of the sun. So this is where you get it's all to do with vertical and horizontal and directional energies, and when they combine together within the sunspot, that's when things start exploding. So then there's a positive and a negative to this with electromagnetism, and there's a directional sort of flow from it all, and it's gradually tying it up from explosion on one side, then it goes through an explosion on the other, and then the rippling effect between the two, creating this sunspot that's coming through in the middle of it. So let's have a look now at the magnetic field of the sun and how it's doing here, because this is a harmonizing process that we've got to understand. So let's have a look at the magnetics now of the sun. So we've got, so if you like, you've got minor positive and negative within the yellow and the green, and then we get high positive and negative, which we can see in those red dots, and also blue dots, which you can see above there. Right in the center there, you can see the blue and red dot there. Well, that's the sort of thing we're going to be concentrating on. As we go forward here, you can see this blue dot that's in the center. Now that's between the coronal hole and that filament energy. Now look what happens as we go forward and those eruptions go through, and that white spot that is created is that red spot that you can just start appearing now in the center of the screen. If I go back, there it is, go back, there we go. So that's sort of like coming through at the moment. It's a harmonization between the two the negative and the positive, the heart and the solar plexus, the third eye and the throat chakra and the sacrum, or the crown and the root. It all sort of plays into tandem into one another. And this harmonization we can see throughout the system at the moment. So let's just get on to seeing that. So this is a blown up version. This is a blown up version of what is going on with that blue spot, as we can see there, that's gradually being developed over time. You can see it starting getting a little bit more sort of active. There's a blues that are coming off it. It's trying to create that red, and that's when you can see that red creating just off to the south of it. There is a mixing between the blue and the red. It's got that negative, and that will be feeding back to that blue side as well. As it does feed back to the blue side, you can just see there it is, the deeper red created, and then to the right of that red, that blue filament gradually connects back towards the other blue section. There it is, connected now, and the red sort of dies down a bit. It's the energy that flows through. So what it's doing at the moment, really more than anything else within the sun, is bringing a bit more stability and harmonization to it. So we're starting off with earth energy that's feeding by water energy that then feeds into the fire energy. And I think that sunspot there will be flaring once it comes out of earth facing direction, so as it goes round off on the horizon, and it will probably start flaring in the direction of 3i Atlas. Now I am doing an in-depth view on 3i Atlas on this channel here. Fantastic video that he's creating, and it's an understanding about how the universe works in the sense of solar systems and how systems are actually created. So you'll be able to see that on this channel. Don't forget to subscribe and click that bell so then you can get the notifications when it comes out. Okay, so we can see this harmonization that's going on within the sun. How is it playing out on the Earth? So before we actually go on to what's going through on the earthquakes and stuff like that, let's just go quickly into background information. Here is my map that I did over 25 years ago. Time is really rocking on. About the chakras and the main energy lines that go across our planet. And you can see just down here, you've got the solar plexus. Just up here, you've got the third eye and throat chakra. Next to it, you have the crown chakra. And then next to it again and above, you have the heart chakra in the UK. And then you have down on the far side, you have down at the bottom there, you have the root chakra. And above it, in Mount Shasta, you have the sacrum chakra. So, just to sort of like, so you get a heads up to when I'm talking about the earthquakes and so forth, you don't get lost in what we're sort of talking about. Let's just have a look at it combined with the earthquakes at the moment. So here you have it here. You can see the little red dots, which are the earthquakes. And we're going to be going through the sequencing. Now, I've only picked out on 5 magnitude earthquakes. So let's go through the sequencing and how they... Here we have the earthquakes that are 5 pointers. They're all 5 pointers apart from one that's 5.1, which is that one there. Now, there's a particular... This is over the last 24 hours, just to sort of show you the sort of rhythm that's coming out of the Earth in a way. Okay, so it starts off in just north of Australia. I'm not sure exactly where it is, in Indonesia. It starts off there with a 5-pointer, and then it goes up to the Alaskan Ridge. Now that's already oscillating from one side to the other, going from between the solar plexus and then entering in between the sacrum and the third eye and the throat chakra. So it's from the intention of the solar plexus, and then it is an application of the fundamental needs through the sacrum into the vision and the manifestation. That's what the manifestation of the third eye and the throat chakra, that's what's going on at the moment. And bingo, there we do get then the third eye and the throat chakra that's playing in totally. And then it sort of, another rhythm comes into play that balances everything off, which is this earthquake over on this far side, on between the root chakra and the sacrum. So it's bringing us back down to that grounded idea of of reason in a way to it. And then we have back towards the third eye and throat chakra. So therefore the root has spoken, organized it with what is needed, and therefore it's bypassed the solar plexus and gone straight on into the manifestation mode, as it were. The solar plexus hasn't been forgotten, because this is where it comes back and it gives force or definition to the idea or to the direction that one would want to take. And this is where we're talking about how the earth is vibrating, and you're looking for rhythms in all of that. And the last one that comes off is this one here, which is in Iran, which is between, I would say, more towards obviously the crown chakra than anything else, but it's between the crown and the heart chakra. So I think it's basically the plan's been put in place, the manifestation of the idea has been put in place with the force and the fundamental determinations. Now it's like you've created a car. Now you're going to paint it and give it a certain style. And this is where the crown and the heart comes into play. So this is a conceptual sort of energy that's coming out of the earth at the moment through the earthquakes and how it's vibrating in accordance to the chakras. So whenever you are, that's one chakra rhythm. That's a chakra rhythm of the earth itself. So it oscillates a lot between the solar plexus and the third eye and the throat chakra, but it's also involved with the sacrum and the root, and then finally coming back towards the heart and the crown chakra as well. We have also, that I'd like to sort of say, that we did have all those, quite a few tornadoes, and there's one that ripped through Paris yesterday as well. And I did say that last week, that there might be quite a few sort of tornadoes going about, and there have been. This week here, I think it's going to be a lot less in the way of tornadoes. So people in Alaska as well will feel the benefits of less water in that sort of region as well. They've been having a hard time of it. Heart goes out to Alaska and everybody out there. So yes, there has been a real sort of reharmonization, and we can see that through the earth energies as it went from the solar plexus through to the into the third eye and the throat chakra. So it's using that force to actually implement what we so wish to manifest, and then it harmonizes it all with the root chakra and the crown chakra with the heart, as much as the root chakra was playing with the sacrum as well. And we can probably see this in the messages from energy on the Astroflower, our sister channel, where we go into the vibrations and seeing the energy. As we're sat on an energy line here, a ley line that goes through, and we get messages from the energy, and we also get messages from the center of the earth, and so forth, and see what's going on there with the chakra sequencing. So this week here, I think, yes, I do think we're still going to see the return of water and earth energy. I think that's going to be quite an important component within the vibrations that are coming up over the next week. But also at the same time, with the eruptions on the sun, I think we're going to see the return of air energy replacing that fiery energy. And that air energy is all to do with the third eye and throat chakra. It's where that air section goes on, that mental stuff goes on. And this is where we can really start applying our vision in life. And it ties in beautifully to the messages from energy last week that we had on the Astroflower. It seems like this week here has been that sort of productive getting on and doing things. Start implementing the inner vision that we have for our own particular lives into the world that is around us. And when we do that, obviously we change ultimately the collective world that we see replicated or mirrored about what we put out there. So make sure you're sort of in line with what you wish to be doing in life, living it purely and happily, because you are contributing to the reality that is for everybody. And this week here, and I think this is where the inner vision is going to become a lot more important. We're going to be getting to a stage where we're moving from, whenever I say if you want to manifest something, you want to concentrate on the possible things, the possibilities, and aspire to the impossible. And I think the inspiration of the impossible will start, raising its head within our mind's eye as we go forward within this week here. So there you go. Help energy to help yourself. Make your life very productive when you engage in this world, the breathing, living thing that you are all part of. We are all part of as individuals and collectively. Thanking you very much for subscribing, liking and sharing. I will see you soon, either here on Cymatic TV or on the Astroflower, where we do weekly readings for all star signs. And then we have a live at the end of the weekend as well. If you want to be part of any workshops that I do, you'll find also that in the description below. Links to the workshops that I do to connect yourself to energy, so you can start feeling these energies directly through you and even seeing them. I will see you soon. In the meantime, don't forget, life should be fun, so please do enjoy.